Hey guys, I'm Trevor,
I'm Bailey.
and welcome to the Huddle Podcast. Today we will be talking about what this podcast is about, and each first round pick, our thoughts on it, and we'll grade each pick. So, without further ado, let's get started. So, why did we do this podcast? Well, me and Bailey love to talk about football. We're big football fans. Uh, we've always loved watching football. We make fun of each other's teams all the time, and we figured, why not start a podcast? Quarantine, we have nothing else to do. Might as well start a podcast.
We know
So
that we both suck at it, but you know,
it's
we'll
fun.
hopefully get better at it.
Yeah. So I just like to disclaimer that I'm a Cardinals fan because I don't know why I hate life. So
I'm a
and
Giants fan as well.
we both just hate our self esteem. We both live in Boston. We could take the easy way out and just become Pats. Choose not to because haters.
Our biases may or may not show during our draft grades.
Oh yeah, definitely. This will definitely be biased. All right, so want to start with the draft grades?
So overall draft thoughts, um, I thought the first round at least was pretty solid. There were only like three fuck ups.
Yeah, there are only three that were. Why did you do that?
Why? What happened?
A lot of the teams did not mess up. I was hoping for more chaos,
Yeah.
honestly.
Um, Packers, Eagles, and what's
The
the other one?
Raiders.
Sure. Those are the main ones that were confusing.
Yeah, there were some, but the rest of it wasn't too bad. So I don't know. Let's start with the picks overall. So the first pick was quarterback Joe Burrow out of LSU. That's what the Bengals have chosen.
And if they didn't,
Uh,
I'm pretty sure everyone in their coaching staff would be fired. Not a lot to say
Congratulations,
about him.
Bengals.
I mean,
Didn't screw up.
quarterback, perfect season, won the whole damn championship, and is pretty accurate on like all of their throws. It's not really anything to complain about.
Yeah, I mean, all the other quarterbacks had issues too with his like injury. Herbert with his inconsistent play. Joe Burrow was by far the quarterback.
Um,
All right, next
yeah,
pick, Washington. Uh, Chase Young, edge rusher, Ohio State.
it hurts me a
Another
little bit.
pick,
Um,
another pick where they didn't mess up.
they did it. So
Congratulations.
yeah, he was definitely a team need for them because their defense is pretty awful. I can't think of a single person on their team, and I would say I'm pretty well versed in football.
Yeah, that the the Redskins were awful last year. They needed pretty much everything, so they just chose the best player in the draft.
They are settled on a quarterback supposedly, and they have at least one good receiver. So
I was
defense,
kind of hoping that they'd choose Tua. I'd laugh so hard.
yeah, but that would have been
Uh,
stupid.
yeah.
All right,
Unfortunately, Dan Snyder did not make me angry.
Detroit.
All right, Jeff Okuda, cornerback, Ohio State. Another pick, another team that didn't mess up.
Yeah, I've heard some Lions fans who wanted to go elsewhere, like Simmons or something, but I think overall, Okuda was definitely the safe play.
Yeah, they need to replace Darius Slay pretty bad. Okuda should do pretty well.
Yeah, so they're pretty much going to be the exact same next year.
Hopefully Stafford doesn't get injured. That's pretty much the only reason Detroit was this bad.
Yep.
All right, this is the first pick that wasn't just a complete like this team's going to choose this pick unless they're stupid. New York Giants chose outer tackle Andrew Thomas out of Georgia.
I would say
So
I'm a
the Giants.
pretty in-depth Giants fan, and I can say at least this was definitely the right pick. A lot of people wanted Isaiah Simmons. but I personally feel that when you have your rookie franchise quarterback, who is known to have a few fumbling issues, just a few, um,
You.
and you have arguably the best running back in the league, you need to have protection for him and not have the worst O-line. So getting a player who allowed like one sack and two pressures in like 3 years is probably the best possible pick they could have done.
Yeah, they needed O-line help. Nate Solder has been a total turnstile ever since he got to Giants. So they really needed O-line. All
Uh,
right. Next pick, Miami. Tua Tagovailoa, quarterback out of Alabama.
a running
I
threat.
really find this pick ironic because the whole point was to tank for Tua. They failed at tanking, but they still got Tua. So
It managed to make it work.
he
Um,
does have injury concerns, though.
yeah, that's probably the only thing you're really gonna worry about with him. Otherwise, they needed a quarterback because during the beginning of the season, they were lost. They had like no clue what they were doing as a team. It looked like they were going 0-16. Now it seems like they at least have one solid player.
They also added a lot in free agency. So who knows? Miami could be really good next year. But there's a lot of new pieces. All right, this is the first pick that made me confused. LA
Yes.
Chargers chose Justin Herbert, quarterback out of Oregon.
Who are you expecting?
I was expecting them to take Simmons and just take a quarterback later.
I thought
Justin Herbert shot up draft boards for no reason. He's the stereotypical, oh, he has awful decision making and probably won't work out, but he has a big arm, so we need to draft him high.
yeah, I could see why, but at the same time, you lost Philip Rivers, who, good or not, was their best quarterback option, so they needed a good replacement.
Reminds me of Mitch Trubisky. This guy turns out to be Mitch Trubisky. I wouldn't be. All right, Carolina defensive tackle Derek Brown, Auburn.
I know
Oh boy.
you're pretty happy about this pick.
Yeah.
Uh, I mean, I can see why they did it. They have like no pressure on the D line, um, so they needed to get something going there. But at the same time, you just let go of your pretty much best defensive player in Luke Kuechly. So a little confusing why they didn't go with Simmons, but I'm sure there's a good reason for it.
Yeah. Derek Brown's still pretty good. I wouldn't even mind if the Cardinals took him. He is going to be really good against run defense, which Carolina's run defense last year was horrible. So, who knows?
And now
I
maybe
just would have chosen Simmons.
the entire team won't just be McCaffrey, and it will be McCaffrey and Brown.
No, it'll still be McCaffrey.
Oh, okay.
All right. Arizona chose linebacker Isaiah Simmons out of Clemson. Oh my gosh. I was not expecting Simmons to drop to 8, and I'm so happy he did. The Cardinals need a linebacker that can cover tight ends. They got torched by tight ends all last year, and Isaiah Simmons should help with that.
Yeah, he's a very lengthy person. I've seen a lot of his big plays. He's just like laying out for people and somehow tackling them. So he can play like any position. He's not just a linebacker. He can pretty much act like three players at once on the field. So
Didn't he play like corner?
he can play like literally anything.
I wouldn't be surprised if he's on the offense.
He's suddenly a receiver now. I'm surprised.
All right. Jacksonville chose cornerback TJ Henderson out of Florida. Jacksonville needed corners.
I mean,
We know
Jacksonville
that.
needs like everything other than
Yeah.
a quarterback. So it doesn't matter where they started. This was a good place, I suppose.
Yeah, so I don't know. I've heard issues that he has trouble tackling for some reason. Like he just won't tackle for some reason, which makes no sense to me.
So he catches the ball, he's just like, I'm not feeling it today.
Yeah, I've heard that. I don't know why. but that seems to be a thing. So, I don't know.
Still, it's going to be at least a noticeable name on their defense next to like Ngakwe if he sticks around.
Probably won't. Josh Allen's like the only one I know.
All right,
All right.
that was a good place for them though.
Yeah. All right, Cleveland. You made a good pick. Jedrick Wills out of Alabama. In my opinion, the best tackle in this class. I prefer him over Andrew Thomas.
I think, yeah, he could turn out to be better. I think Andrew Thomas was more of like a safe pick, so they didn't end up with Eric Flowers.
Eric Flowers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Still, I think he'll be a good tackle, and you need to give Baker Mayfield more time to decide on Jarvis Landry in triple coverage or Odell wide open.
Their offensive line last year was off. They needed tackles. They needed just line play in general, and Jedrick Wills is really good. So that should. All right. The Jets chose tackle Kai Becton out of Louisville.
Back-to-back O-line.
Yeah. The Jets O-line was horrible last year.
Yeah, their
It was
defense
bad.
is solid. They have their quarterback. They have. I think they got rid of Anderson, right?
Yeah, Robbie Anderson.
But they still have like Chowder, I think. So
Crowder.
Crowder.
Chowder.
Oops. But yeah, O-line was a need. You could see why they went with it.
Yeah, Becton is a weird prospect. He is a very boomer bust prospect. He could end up like Eric Flowers, like you just mentioned, or he could end up being a really good O lineman. It's very
He could get kicked
boomer
out of
bust.
the league for other actions.
Oh yeah, those actions. Yikes. Hopefully it works out for the Jets, but I wouldn't be surprised if it flames out because, well, it's the Jets.
It is the Jets.
All right, Raiders. Las Vegas Raiders chose wide receiver Henry Ruggs out of Alabama.
This was the first kind of head scratcher for me. I don't know why they wouldn't go with Jared Jeter or CeeDee Lamb, but I guess they just wanted speed.
I feel like Al Davis is still alive. This is this is a pick that Al Davis would make.
Yeah.
Way overdrafted, but he has speed, so it's fine.
And it'll probably
I
end up
don't
working out
understand.
somehow, because their offense
Yeah,
ends up doing well.
I would have chose Lamb.
But still not a bad pick.
Yeah. All right, Tampa. They traded up one position to select Tristan Wirfs out of Iowa.
It was that. I mean, it was a good pick, but at the same time, it was very confusing because I don't see why San Francisco would have taken an O lineman.
At first I thought that. I think I know why that. Because if you know, San Francisco's O line like tackle Joe Staley decided to retire, so I think San Francisco might have chose Wirfs ahead of Tampa to make him angry. It would make sense to me, at least.
All right.
Otherwise, I don't get it.
But yeah, you have number 12 TB going to TB. Don't let him get hurt because he's practically a cripple at this point.
He is a statue. All right. San Francisco traded one spot back and grabbed defensive lineman Javon Kinlaw out of South Carolina.
I don't know much about Kinlaw, but on a team that is pretty much perfect in every other player category, I guess defensive lineman was the way to go for them.
Yeah, it was either wide receiver or defensive lineman. Pretty much a replacement for DeForest Buckner. That was pretty much it. Nothing else crazy about this pick. They just got a good defensive lineman.
Yep.
All right. Denver chose wide receiver Jerry Jeudy out of Alabama.
They were probably very happy with this, not understanding how he fell to 15, but they're not dumb and they picked something that they need for Drew Lock.
Yeah, if Drew Lock develops, the Broncos could be good. have a lot of weapons around him now. He'll hopefully have like a 1-2 punch with Cortland Sutton, who they needed receivers because Sutton was literally the only receiver that could do anything on that team. Good pick by Denver.
Atlanta.
All right, Atlanta chose cornerback AJ Terrell at Clemson. So,
There's a lot of problems with Atlanta. Their defense was one of the worst at the beginning of last season. It got a bit better towards the end, but still.
They settled for a guy who was not supposed to go this high. Apparently they wanted to trade up, but none of the teams would trade up. So they had to just settle for a reach of a cornerback pick. Is what I've been hearing recently. So I don't know.
It's a reach yet.
I don't know. It's such an Atlanta pick though to settle for mediocrity.
Yeah.
Oh.
Nothing crazy about it.
Oh boy, the Cowboys. They chose wide receiver CeeDee Lamb out of Oklahoma.
So this one is confusing to me because I see like every Cowboys fan and their mother being super happy about this, and I don't really see it because it's like the one position next to like running back that you didn't need but you took anyway.
Yeah, you just paid Amari Cooper $20 million per year. Michael Gallup had a breakout season, and your defense lost most of its playmaking.
Exactly.
So
I saw like some Cowboys fans who were like really in depth with the draft actually saying this was not the best pick, but everyone on Twitter is like, "Oh yeah!"
it's just another year where the Cowboys will get overhyped and then finish 8-8.
Time, you could say it was like to spite the Eagles, in which case it was a great pick.
Oh yeah, it was definitely despite the Eagles. So while it might have not been the best pick for Dallas, it was the best pick for everyone else. Good job, Dallas.
They did it.
You made the right decision.
Jerry Jones on his yacht.
Oh yeah, that yacht. Why was he on like a $250 million yacht?
It's Jerry Jones.
It is Jerry Jones. All right. So the trade that Miami got for Minka Fitzpatrick, and they chose Austin Jackson out of USC.
I think Pittsburgh wins this trade. Overall.
Steelers definitely won the trade. There's no question.
Yeah.
But they need to protect Tua.
Yeah, because you have an injury-prone quarterback. Don't really want to get him hit a lot.
Also, their offensive line was horrible last year, so that should help.
Their kicker was probably their star player last year, and hopefully it changes with this.
I mean, they still went 5-11.
They did.
As long as you have a good kicker, you can go 5-11. You heard it here first. All right, Las Vegas. Quarterback Damon Arnett, Ohio State. Why? They reached for a corner.
I will say, their defense has never really been anything great, so I see why they went defense, but I'm not sure why they went this person in particular.
Yeah, he was supposed to be in the second round, and you picked him 19. He wasn't even the best corner in his school.
But
so
Ohio State
I don't know.
Good defense, so pick.
Must be good if they're from Ohio State. That's my reasoning.
Yeah.
All right, Jacksonville.
Third pick
goes edge. Calebon Chason, pick 20. Pretty much defense. Best defensive player available. Ngakoue might be gone, so pretty much a replacement for him.
And, I mean, you need more than just Ngakoue to make any impact on their defense, because it is, like, nothing right now.
Oh, yeah. It's scheduled to be absolutely miserable. Hopefully, Chason helps out with their awful defense, but my guess is next year they are probably not going to be that. Hopefully he develops into a good edge, though, and has like a 1-2 punch of Josh Allen.
Philly.
Oh, boy! Philadelphia! Wide receiver Jalen Rager.
That was definitely not the play, in my opinion. I think you have Justin Jefferson, who is the number one target of Joe Burrow on a team that goes literally undefeated and pretty much seems to win every one-on-one fight for the ball that you see. I don't know why you go with Jalen Rager over him,
Yeah.
but I guess they needed wide receiver. They went wide receiver.
Yeah. What I've heard about Rager is that he's a speedy guy that has issues with catching the ball. Remember the last time the Eagles drafted a speedy guy that has issues with catching the ball? It was Nelson Aguilar. So
Yeah,
let's just say if he turns into Aguilar, I'm going to be laughing pretty hard.
I mean Rager, you shift around the letters, it's pretty much Aguilar, minus an L.
Yeah, just look at, if you squint, you'll see Aguilar. All right, pick 22, Minnesota. Justin Jefferson, wide receiver out of LSU.
Got it from Buffalo. Yeah, I mean, they just lost Diggs, and that's kind of what they needed to replace.
Yeah, Justin Jefferson, unanimously rated as the fourth best wide receiver in this class, behind the big three, is really good. And Minnesota should definitely see some dividends paid Justin Jefferson. So,
Hopefully.
good pick by Minnesota. All right, the Chargers traded up with New England. Draft Kenneth Murray out of Oklahoma, linebacker.
I'll let you.
Yeah, this one isn't as bad as the Herbert pick, in my opinion. This pick should make the defense even more stacked than it already is. It's already really stacked. Problem is, Tyrod Taylor's most likely to start, so.
They just released
Yeah.
like 6 new uniforms for their 6 fans. Maybe he'll make a jersey.
Congratulations, Chargers. You drafted a new fan. You now have, like, 25% more fans. Congratulations.
All right. Saints.
Saints shows center Cesar Ruiz out of Michigan.
So this was a surprise as well.
I thought they'd go linebacker. I mean, Breeze is really old and is kind of a statue, so it sort of makes sense.
I didn't think their O-line was that bad as it was, though.
Helps. I mean, I won't complain too much about an O-line pick.
I don't think it was a
It's
reach, but not expected.
Yeah. I was expecting a linebacker, let's just say that.
Back to
All
the
right.
Niners.
The Niners. Wide receiver Brandon Ayuk out of Arizona State. Definitely.
Yeah,
It's a receiver.
Needed a receiver. They already got their DL in, or wait, yeah, DL.
Defensive lineman.
In Kinlaw, so they were just needing a receiver now, and they've pretty much completed their needs.
So yeah, the Niners had a good draft.
They did it.
Nice job, Niners. Oh! Oh, dear! Oh, dear. All right, Green Bay.
This was a fun one.
They traded up to draft a quarterback. Jordan Love out of Utah State. Packers, what?
This was interesting. I mean, I get what they're doing. You know, they're trying to do what they did with Aaron Rodgers, take someone in the late first round and have him sit. But I'm not sure this was really the time for it when you have much more glaring holes in your defense that need to be fixed.
Yeah, and also you have Devontae Adams and nothing else at the wide receiver core.
I would understand this pick a lot more if they decided to continue going defense with their later picks, but as we will see later, that's not what happens.
Yeah. Packers, did you just, forget to look at all the picks that you could have gotten besides a quarterback? I'm so confused at this pick. If Jordan Love doesn't develop, this pick will be laughed at in a couple of years. Just say that.
Yeah.
You also might have pissed off Aaron Rodgers.
Mustache Man is not happy.
Mustache Man. All right. Seattle linebacker Jordan Brooks, Texas Tech.
Um,
All right.
Seattle's defense is kind of starting to fall apart. I'm pretty sure they lost Clowney, so uh, and I mean I think they lost someone else on their defense. I'm not sure, but either way, their defense has definitely not been their strong suit, and linebacker was probably the play for them.
Yeah, I would propose Patrick. I mean, Jordan Brooks has problems with coverage. That's kind of a big red flag. I
Yeah,
don't know,
it comes down to
especially with
what.
Baltimore. Baltimore chose a linebacker in the next pick, and Baltimore's good at choosing defensive tackles. So you might have missed.
Maybe.
Yeah. All right.
On Baltimore though, Patrick Queen.
Yep. Linebacker LSU. Good pick for Baltimore. Many
Not
people thought he'd be drafted earlier.
not a lot of things the Ravens really needed, other than pretty much this.
Yeah. It's another year where the Ravens draft well. What a surprise. All right,
Classic.
Tennessee. Let's see. O lineman Isaiah Wilson, Georgia.
Uh, I can see it from a Giants fan perspective. I think it was a similar scenario where you have a new s- supposed franchise quarterback and a really good running back. So you need to give them as much air as you can to move around in the pocket.
Yeah. Jack Conklin also left. So it's kind of a replacement for him.
Uh,
Solid pick. Nothing else crazy. Good pick. All right. Miami. They traded back and got cornerback Noah Igbenogany.
why do
Did
they
I
like
did I say
making
that
long
right?
names? Either
All
way,
right. Cornerback Auburn.
they just got Byron Jones. They are in free agency. They got this cornerback now. They're building up their defense a bit. Um, Good pick.
Yeah, secondary buildup. At first, I was confused, but they also. I feel like he's going to be a nickel corner, just because Xavier Howard and Byron Jones will be the outside corners. So building up that secondary should help out with the Dolphins' defense, which was not good last year.
Definitely.
So, all right, Minnesota cornerback Jeff Gladney, TCU.
Obviously a reach. They should have gone with Diggs. I mean, it would have just fit the lore of Diggs.
No, if Minnesota drafted Diggs, do you think that they would like that Diggs would refuse to play for them, and then they'd have to trade him?
I don't know. It would be funny though. I wish I wish it happened.
Yeah. Solid pick. They needed cornerback help since Xavier Rhodes turned to burnt toast, and then Trey Waynes left for the Bengals. So no complaints here. Good job, Minnesota.
And finally,
Running back for the Kansas City Chiefs, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, LSU. Um,
I mean, you have an offense that is literally perfect other than a running back, and you get a running back. And now defense is gonna shit the bed when they have to go against them.
Basically, Andy Reid was just like, you know what? Let's just make our offense more broken. So they did that. Well, that concludes the first round of the draft. Now we're going to get to effect on our personal favorite teams in the first round. So, Isaiah Simmons. Uh, this is such a good pick for the Cardinals. They needed a linebacker to cover tight ends since they get torched by tight ends every single week. Every single week. There's a reason that there's a fantasy football meme where they just play the tight end that faces the Cardinals. They were that bad at covering tight ends. Um, Isaiah Simmons has the athletic ability to cover tight ends. He has the ability to spy on Russell Wilson, play in the NFC West. And he just has the ability to do a lot of things that are just ridiculous just because he's an athletic freak. And overall, great pick. Couldn't be happier.
For me, same story. It was a bit trickier because I had multiple options to go with. You had like one specific one that was pretty obvious. Um, but Andrew Thomas was definitely the play for the Giants. He was definitely the safest of all of the O linemen. Maybe not the one that will make the biggest impact, but is definitely the one that is least likely to become a bust. So it was a safe pick, and I'm happy with it. His stats are really good throughout college. Obviously, that's not the same in the NFL, but should translate pretty well. But yeah, you have Daniel Jones, who um, had a few fumbling problems in his rookie year, um, which you could blame the O-line on, whatever. Either way, O-line had to improve to protect him. You also have Saquon Barkley. You need to let him actually have time to run instead of just getting trampled immediately at the line. So it's a 2-for-1 instead of just going with Isaiah Simmons, who would have been, one good player on the defense. I think uh, Andrew Thomas was definitely the play. So happy with mine as well.
All right. Feeling pretty good about our picks, and I think that'll be the end of the podcast. Hope you guys enjoyed, and we'll see you guys next time.